Hey, welcome to the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is week 10 Thursday game script matchup rankings with uncertainty. You're getting three or four different data streams here for us to try to figure out what goes on here on these Thursday games. First, right off, I don't like Thursday games. I'm just never satisfied with the outcomes. I always feel like I don't get as many points as I would if the game was on Sunday. So that's a feeling. That is not data. I have not tested that uh, question, but that is kind of what I think about. So kind of a bleh kind of situation here. Okay, let's go and see what supposedly is going to happen tonight. Uh, I have three blocks of information at first, and then I'll get to my rankings. But I use Vegas as a framing uh, device, if you will, kind of a mental device. The amount of points predicted gives you a pretty good idea of Vegas' thinking about the score, the intensity of the game, the offensive firepower. I mean, it could be defense, but I think offense. So the more points, a high predicted scoring game is good for fantasy. Low predicted scoring games are not as good. Makes sense. More activity, more chances for points. The high points tend to be about 48 or above. Anything above 52 is really outstanding. On the low side, about 42 or less. Anything below 40 figures to be extra sad. And I don't like extra sad. Also look at game spread or the spread of the game. If there is a blowout predicted, then garbage time may rule on the underdog. Uh, you may not get as many points from the team that's blowing out the other one, right? Because they may pull players or just go to the running game and slow the game or slow it all down and limit the underdog to try to come back. So in your rankings, think about the game spread. How does that figure? Is it a back and forth kind of game? I mean, I would love a high score predicted game with a very low game spread, 2 3 points to ensure that every series there's probably points being scored. At least that's the idea. Even better, both teams are high powered, and the defenses for both teams are not very strong. So that means that offense is ruling and it's back and forth. I mean, that's probably the best. Certainly the worst are two defensive, tough teams with lower uh, powered offenses. At Vegas figures is a low scoring game. That doesn't sound enticing to me at all. Okay. Next thing I look at is defense against the position. I actually have that table. I look at the teams playing, the opponent, and if it's super easy or super hard, I put green or red. There, so you can figure this out. Home and away. In my snaps report Friday, I'm going to have the home and away efficiency data. This is my data. This is my metric. Okay. So only for moi. Yay. So you can check that out. The overall offensive DAP, I call it, defense against position DAP, is the opponent easy, above easy, below average tough, very tough, extra tough, whatever. Uh, what about the running game, RB? What about the passing, QB, WRTE? And then the kicker and defense. People can stream kickers, defenses, and tight ends as well. Then I have my rankings, the player, the team, position, my rankings, fantasy sports professional rankings, and the uncertainty levels. Uncertainty levels describe the ceiling and floor difference. Okay, if it's a lot of broad uh, ceiling floor, then that's a high uncertainty because we're not kind of sure where the player will land. A low uncertainty is a very short uh, ceiling floor, so we're a lot more confident maybe about the player and what they should do. Low uncertainty players should be safer than high uncertainty players there. So for your daily fantasy sports plays, your lineups, uh, and my rankings go from 0 to 100. Anything above 75, I figure is a first tier of that position. 74 to 50, second tier, and below 50, you're getting to the Ouija board there. You don't know if you're getting a 3, 4, 5, or worse. But at least it gives you, again, an idea of the capacity of the player under the uncertainty in the Vegas scenario with the defense measured, right? So you've got all that together in a giant gumbo of for your decision. You taste it and you kind of make a decision there. So tonight, Atlanta, Carolina. The first little block here is the first game of the week tonight. Falcons, Panthers. Falcons figure over the Panthers. 25-19. The spread is 3, so it's a back and forth. But the over under is 43-44, so that's not very enticing. Anything above about 46 is not something I'm enamored with. This is a below average prediction. So the fact that the spread is very low means that they're thinking it's going to be back and forth. But the low scoring tells me that Vegas is judging the offense as kind of weak sauce there. The DAP information is shown in the next block here. Here's Atlanta, week 10, last half of the season segment. We started that. This is Atlanta's playing at Carolina, so they're playing in away. So you can take a look at how they do in away games. The overall opponent's easy with the green coloration means Carolina's easy. There it is. The offense DAP is easy. Rushing, Patterson, Algier, the rest of them, whoever else should have an easy time. So you definitely should play the running backs there. You have an opportunity. The quarterback is a tough, not insane tough, but below average tough. And the tight end. So Pitts, Mariota, you'll probably get some catches, but I'm not sure this is the Pitts touchdown week. Drake London has a opportunity, and Zacchaeus or whoever else, I don't know who they dug up there. It's above average easy, so there is a little bit of outlet there for Mariota. The kicker, Koo, I'm playing, and if you're struggling for a defense, Atlanta's D, could be an opportunity there. So underwhelmed by the offense because the QB and tight end. And Atlanta, if you look at their usage, they really like to try to use Pitts a lot, and that just hasn't been providing enough points there. So I think they're going to do a lot of running with Patterson back, flashing 2 TDs last week. That's just a guess, obviously. Carolina figures their opponent, Atlanta, is easy. In fact, extra easy. And Deontay Foreman should have an above average easy situation. So there's going to be running there. And is it Mayfield? I don't know who's going to be the quarterback. Whoever it is actually has nice opportunities. Even the tight end might get in this week. Was that Trimble who got in last week? And Moore and maybe Marshall. So it could be some passing, but it looks to me like this could be a rushing forward game, lots of rushing, and so the clock just kind of runs out before Carolina can take a big advantage of the passing. So I'd be a little skeptical of the passing, but if I doubt you drafted the Tommy Tremble as your tight end, but in daily fantasy, maybe worth a shot. Maybe Moore is on your agenda. Maybe Marshall is, some long shots there. Seems okay. Would use the kicker and the D. Okay, so that's the frame we're seeing. Some high and low spots there. Atlanta, the defense, I forget about it. The kicker he's a kicker one this week, but average uncertainty. So you get a little bit of play there. So I'm still playing him if I've got him. Mariota is a quarterback 2-3, so not very enthusiastic. Patterson, given the nature of the game, he's just coming back. I ranked him at a 2 this week, so maybe I'm underselling, but I don't want to chase last week's 2 touchdowns. Algier, I think, is a 3-4 type this week, but 34. So I'm not really liking the run in there. Pitts, I really love, and he's tight end 1 potential, but high uncertainty, folks. It could be tight end 12 for the week or tight end 4 or 5. So this could be really interesting. London figures as a wide receiver 2-3 type, but again, high uncertainty. So there's a lot of levels of uncertainty here, and the framing, the low scoring, the rushing, kind of the clock being run out. It doesn't add up to lots and lots of points. Carolina, lots of red here. I guess Walker or Mayfield. I don't know what they're going to do. I guess Walker. Foreman, I do like as a 2-3 type this week, kind of like Patterson. I do like DJ Moore as a close 1-2, but not sure Carolina's going to get a lot of opportunities to pass if they're concentrating on the run. Marshall could be a 3 this week, could be worth a stab. Certainly in a deep flex, I think I'm actually playing him in a few leagues. Not that I'm happy playing anybody here, to tell you the truth, other than Foreman and Patterson. Excuse me, in the context that I've already stated here. So that's how I'm seeing the game. Seems a little bit of a downer, but to be Thursdays are always downers. So again, I'm not chasing last week's points. So don't, my rankings try to move around and through that and look at the matchup this time around, not last week. Okay, so thanks for listening. The few that do, I appreciate it. Feel free. interact, whatever you need to do. Most people won't. I know that. That's fine. Okay. Good luck Thursday. I'll be back with my snaps report Friday at Science of Fantasy Football. I'll have my Sunday game analysis just like you saw here, but for all the games remaining, probably Saturday. Dennis will have his values for the week updated. We'll have our podcast for the weekend up. So we got 3 or 4 more things coming at you, hopefully to help you out. Thanks for listening. We appreciate friends of the podcast, friends of the Science of Fantasy Football. Hope you're getting towards the playoffs.